The disrespect continues. The disrespect continues. And if they're not careful, dump divers in the WNBA, along with their pretend friends in the mainstream media, if they are not careful, they are going to end up getting exactly what they want.
Yes, you heard that correctly. The WNBA will get what it wants. You may wonder, what do they want? How are they going to fix it? The Indiana Fever is the biggest threat, according to the WNBA, and most notably Caitlin Clark, who is tearing up the league but was never supposed to be the poster girl of the WNBA. So how are they going to fix it? By expanding the league. The major players cut before the finals, and guess what? The new teams will get to pick one player from each roster. In this way, the WNBA ensures they can gradually, but surely, destroy the massive machine the Fever is becoming by forcing them to lose one or more players each year.
Now, Caitlin Clark is playing it cool. She's trying to please everyone. She's trying to keep her fan base happy. She's trying to ingratiate herself with a group of minimum wage earners that will never accept her. She is staying polite with the media, even though they constantly disrespect her. But there will come a point with Caitlin Clark when she has finally had
And I can already hear you thinking, if the WNBA is so intent on stopping Clark, won't she just quit the league and relocate to Europe, where she could easily make 110 times more a year? Based on what she is doing now, she is actually doing the WNBA a favor by remaining in America. But the W still doesn't realize it.
Season ending for many teams, there are already so many players heading overseas to play during the off-season. But with all of the drama currently surrounding the WNBA, on top of the low-paying salaries, some of these players are questioning if they'll even...
So, let's get started on what will occur during the off-season. Everything they do is planned. Nothing happens by mistake. Everything is intentional, and it goes beyond just attempting to ruin Caitlin Clark. The Indiana Fever's 2024 season is over, but it was a thrilling one, to say the least. The team owes a lot to their first-round selection, as they went from being among the worst in the WNBA the previous season to making the playoffs. Caitlin Clark, after an incredible collegiate career, arrived full of energy and fulfilled her promise by winning Rookie of the Year in her first WNBA season, far outperforming the other rookies. However, she wasn't the only player to step up. Several others contributed. Clark had a great backcourt partner, especially Kelsey Mitchell. Boston was well represented in the paint and controlled the boards early on. Lissa Smith averaged double-digit points every game despite her struggles. But more players may be departing the W, and Smith could be on her way out as well.
Exit interview, Storm player Gabby Williams warned the WNBA, if you want to keep international players, you need to do better. So here's what she had to say.
The W thinks that they don't have to pay us more in order for us to be here. And I think I didn't express that when I first talked about prioritization. You know, our commissioner talked about us being able to, you know, make 700,000. That's not true at all. There's not one player who makes that. And we were promised, you know, team marketing agreements and league marketing agreements, but they've fallen quite short. So it's still not enough for us international players to want to stay here. And that's a choice of the players. If I make a choice to make more money, whatever, and then, you know, teams are mad that I don't come back, but that's how it is. So yes, it just, the WNBA, you know, if you want us to be here, you have to pay us more. It's business, it's how it works, and that's all that.
Since that interview, less than a week later, Gabby is already in Istanbul, where she will be playing for the off-season. And from the sounds of this interview, it seems like she's probably going to make more money overseas in EuroLeague than she did during this WNBA season.
There will come a point with Caitlin Clark where she gets tired of the bullshit, tired of the disrespect.
It's not out of the norm for WNBA players to play during the regular season and then during their off-season play overseas. This is something that has been happening for like the entirety popularity of the WNBA. It even went as far as to 1 year in 2015, Diana Taurasi played in Russia and did not play in the WNBA. And it was never outright stated that she didn't play in the WNBA because Russia basically put that in their contract, that if she went there, she couldn't play. But that was pretty much what everybody thought happened because Russia paid Diana Taurasi at that time $1.5 million salary to play in Russia. Now, at the time in the WNBA, the salary, like the highest salary in the league, was $107,000. So obviously that's a huge jump. Diana took that offer. She played overseas, and at that time she was also like hands down the face of the league. The WNBA was not as popular as it is now, but that was an opportunity that Diana took. And I feel like with the growing popularity of the WNBA and with players able to, make money off brand deals and this and that, and their celebrity rising, there could be a world where more of these private owned EuroLeague teams, I could see some of these teams going after some of our star players in the WNBA. And if the money makes sense, if the business aspect makes sense, we could lose more players to playing overseas like Gabby.
However, after months of speculation, the WNBA has officially revealed the rules for the Golden State Valkyries expansion draft. So, players heading overseas isn't the only issue the league should be concerned about. The expansion draft is scheduled for December 6th at an unspecified time. Every team has a core available this summer, and a player can be designated similar to a franchise tag in the NFL for up to 2 years of their career. For Indiana, this means they'll have to make difficult choices. Golden State will be permitted to select one player from each team and one unrestricted free agent. Teams will be allowed to protect 6 of their 12 players from being selected in the expansion draft. Because rosters are locked based on the end of the 2024 season, any player on an active roster, even unrestricted free agents, can be eligible for protection under certain circumstances. For example, in exchange for a Supermax deal, Kelsey Mitchell, a UFA who can be designated, would grant Indiana exclusive bargaining rights. About 10 days prior to the expansion draft, teams are expected to submit their protected player lists. The league will then reveal which players were chosen in the draft. However, the protected lists themselves will not be made public. For the Fever, this means only 6 players can be protected from the Valkyries selection. At year's end, the WNBA will conduct the expansion draft to officially launch Golden State's franchise. Fans argue that existing WNBA clubs should only be allowed to protect up to 6 players, which matches the new rule. Many do not include Alyssa Smith in their top 6, and she may not be protected. Smith started 37 of 40 regular season games, an impressive run, but in the postseason she fell out of favor with head coach Stephanie White. Smith played just 13 total minutes in the Fever's 2 playoff games against the Connecticut Sun with the rules now set. Here are the Fever players most likely to be protection locks, those on the fence, and those who may be left unprotected. Indiana will almost certainly use its first 3 protected slots on its core Big 3, the group that carried the team back to the playoffs. This means Caitlin Clark could be playing alongside a new starting forward in 2025. Protecting Kelsey Mitchell in the expansion draft is the first step toward keeping her in Indiana, which should be the Fever's top priority this offseason. Mitchell has been the cornerstone of the franchise for the past 7 seasons, leading the team in scoring in all but 2 of them. In the backcourt, she and rookie Caitlin Clark clicked immediately, and the Fever will want to keep them together. Clark transformed the Fever offense into the fast-paced system they needed to win, shattering the single-season league record for assists and setting rookie records for both points and three-pointers made. She became the Fever's top scorer this season, narrowly surpassing Mitchell by 2 points. Aaliyah Boston remains another top option. She jump-started Indiana's rebuild in 2023 by leading them to a 13-27 record and played an even bigger role in 2024. As the 2023 Rookie of the Year, Boston was a force in the paint, anchoring the defense and fueling the Fever's postseason run. Lexi Hull is also making a case for protection. A strong rebounder and versatile forward, she thrives in the team's up-tempo system. Though she began the season with limited minutes and even a few DNPs, Hull flourished after the Olympic break, boosting her three-point shooting from 22% to nearly 50% over 15 games. She also delivered clutch performances late in the season. With 1 year left on her rookie contract, she looks like the most likely of Indiana's role players to be protected. Alyssa Smith's situation is more complicated. Under normal circumstances, the Fever would protect her without question. However, Smith has voiced frustration over her lack of touches this season, and admitted she didn't contribute as much as she had hoped. Indiana might choose to part ways, though her value as a former number 2 pick makes her a strong trade asset. Holding her rights through 2025 could benefit the Fever if they decide to move her. Finally, veteran forward Temi Fagbanell, note, sometimes referred to as Fagman in reports, faces an uphill battle. Injuries to her thumb, foot, and shoulder limited her to just 22 regular season games. But at 32, she remains a valuable piece. Her ability to catch Clark's cross-court passes in transition and stretch the floor adds depth to Indiana's system. As a restricted free agent, the Fever can match any outside offer she receives, but her health will determine whether she stays long-term. In the end, Indiana must choose 3 players from this group to protect. Each case is strong, but with only 6 protection slots available, tough decisions await. Dantes Darris, another injury-plagued forward, spent almost half the season on the suspended list with a preseason knee injury. Once she returned, however, she quickly worked her way into the rotation, giving the front court much-needed depth. Her reliable three-point shooting helps space the floor and provides energy, and she still has 1 year left on her contract. In my opinion, these 5 players are the most likely to go unprotected in the expansion draft, making them available for selection by the Golden State Valkyries. However, being unprotected does not guarantee they'll be chosen. Only 1 player from each team can be selected. That means most of these players could still return to the Fever in 2025. Katie Lou Samuelson. After taking a year off to give birth to her daughter, Samuelson rejoined the WNBA in August 2023. In interviews with the Fever, she admitted the physical toll of returning to professional basketball, while managing motherhood was far more difficult than expected. Samuelson has 1 year left on her contract, worth about $180,000 in 2025. She began the season as the starting small forward, but struggled from three-point range and saw her production decline. Grace Berger, the number 7 overall pick in the 2023 draft, Berger had her minutes cut dramatically with Caitlin Clark taking over at point guard. A 2023 All-Rookie guard, she mostly saw garbage time minutes this season. Berger might benefit from a change of scenery, where she could earn more consistent playing time. Victoria Saxton, drafted in the 3rd round in 2023, Saxton has yet to establish herself as part of the Fever's regular rotation. Her best showing came in the season finale, when she scored 5 points in 5 minutes while the starters rested. Christy Wallace, the Fever's lone Olympian this cycle, Wallace helped Australia win a bronze medal. Her WNBA season, however, was inconsistent. She started 15 games at small forward, but lost her role by season's end, when Lexi Hull replaced her. Wallace still has 1 year left on her rookie deal. Erica Wheeler, a 10-year veteran, Wheeler is coming off a lucrative 2-year contract that made her one of the league's highest-paid players in 2023. With Clark's arrival, she shifted from a starter to a veteran bench role, providing leadership and morale support. Wheeler enters the off-season as an unrestricted free agent. With these decisions looming, the big question remains: who will the Valkyries select before the 2025 season begins? Share your predictions in the comments below.